What's up, everyone? Back on TYT Sports. It seems like we're just subbing in and out, me and Jason, just with our consistent, consecutive TYT host, JR Jackson.
Well, I mean, first of all, I know everyone knows you just returned from the UK. You've been all over the place. But specifically London is what I want to focus in on, because you also visited the YouTube space there, which I christened as well. So I'm sure that people there were happy to know that you followed me.
Followed you in there.
Continue to push TYT through there.
They are huge fans, by the way, and a great facility. So if you're in London, you want to check out that space, I'm sure to go in and check it. But the main story today is we're going to discuss the Raiders. So JR is a Raiders fan, as he's been said. So that's why we're going to discuss. Constant. So the substance of today is progressive groups are fighting at the Vegas NFL Stadium after Nevada Senate approves a $750 million tax subsidy in order to get this whole thing passed. We want to move the Raiders to Las Vegas. So therefore, how are we going to do it? We are going to tax people in Vegas. We're going to increase taxes on hotels. They're going to have to pay a little bit more money. Maybe they'll use some other legislation so that your drinks are already more expensive than $35, or should I say pounds, I'm still in my UK format, for a vodka Red Bull. I mean, Jesus. I know I want to fly, but I don't want to fly that high.
I mean, I'm not sure if it would be noticed that much. I understand the issues. This is part of what the problem with San Diego was, and we'll talk about the Chargers a little bit. Yeah. But when you have to tax citizens in just their community, they're like, well, I don't go to the damn Chargers game. I don't care. Yeah. Or, I watch them if they get to the playoffs. I'm not a huge fan. Why are you raising my taxes for this team? I never go to the games anyway because those tickets cost too much. Yeah. I get those concerns. It almost works in cities like Vegas, in New York, and L.A. Everything's already expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's a tourist town. I mean, L.A. is less so of a tourist town, even though there's parts that are obviously driven by tourism hugely. But in general, you still have your pockets where people just never go to these areas. Vegas almost seems like if it wasn't for the tourism, it wouldn't really exist outside of just this barren desert land. So it's people come with money ready to spend it already. So they kind of, when you raise some rates on some casinos, I don't want to be like biased against casinos, but they're going to be fine. Yeah, is what I feel.
I mean, on paper, it makes sense for fans who are going to go to Vegas to experience the luxuries in their life that they look for. They're going to get to go and drink, they're going to get to go and gamble, and then they're going to get to go and watch a football game, no matter what. And it maybe even be a positive for those very few people, which I don't think exist actually in the world. I don't think there's people that go to Vegas and live. I simply don't believe it. There are many out there that many people will probably be like, what are you talking about? It's a great place to live. I've ventured like 2 streets off of the strip, and then I ventured at least 30 streets back because I never wanted to go to that area again. I was petrified. But either way, I don't think that it's necessarily going to be the reason to stop it, is if or not they increase the tax in Vegas. What I think might be the reason to stop it is if the other likely option is if it moves to LA and it forms the other second LA team. And according to our EP Dan from behind the camera, is the next in line for the Coliseum to try and form some sort of after the Chargers, which again San Diego are going to fight tooth and nail to keep their team there, despite the fact that I think anything should be done to eradicate that stadium from the face of the earth.
I guess I'm all on board for the Raiders going to Vegas.
To Vegas?
I'm a Rams fan, as we already know. I'm an LA Rams fan originally. They came back home after having their stint in St. Louis, which I was fine with too because I was in St. Louis. But once they came back, I mean, as big as this city is, it's kind of only a one NFL team city, honestly. Once you have 2, then they're split amongst that, and then we're gonna change over the AFC West and then the NFC West, and oh my God, are they gonna play here? We have to build this new stadium. Are they gonna share that stadium? I don't like sharing of stadiums. I don't even like that the Clippers and the Lakers share a stadium, and I do believe that there needs to be 2 NBA teams. It's traditionally been here, so it's okay. Now the Chargers and the Raiders and the Rams all want to jam themselves into one city that everyone clowns on and says they can't support an NFL team. Oh, but you think you can support 3 of them now, huh? Yeah. Move to another city. Vegas is still a western part of the country city. San Diego needs to find a way. San Diego probably is the biggest problem. They probably can't stay there. Yeah. But the jamming of teams into LA doesn't work out for me. And maybe it's just a personal bias. Go to Vegas, handle yourselves. People will go there. You may become America's team because, as you said, no one lives in Vegas. So then everyone to watch on TV. You go visit Vegas. Let's go see a Raiders game. I never see the Raiders. Let's go watch the Raiders game. Go sit in a black hole and put on some spiked shoulder pads like idiots.
So the football fan in me is screaming out to have another team in LA, because one thing that makes the sport that I love so prominent, and other sports in general, is rivalries, right? Because you want two teams fighting for the city, right? Because when you have, but often or not, you don't get the Clippers and the Lakers. You would like to see the Lakers get better again so that you can have that intense rivalry, two teams there. But again, what happens in American sports, which I believe kind of takes that argument away, and I'm on board with them going to Vegas like you're saying, is because teams move so much here. So it's not like they're fighting for LA. It's not like LA, they live and breathe. No, they're Rams and they're Raiders. They're not Los Angeles. You know what I mean? It's not like they're fighting for that territory the way that you're going to see teams in the past and then other teams fight for their city. It's not like, I don't think the Jets and the Giants are fighting over New York. You know what I mean? It's more other rivalries like
and
the
they
Giants
play in
and the Cowboys.
Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Jesus.
So I'm on board with that. But one thing that they're going to come up against a tough obstacle, JR, is that the backing behind the LA is going to come up against a tough obstacle, should I state, because the backing behind the move to Vegas has some pretty big names that are going to push from both sides of the legislature to push it through. So Sheldon Adelson, who has pledged $650 million to the project. Raiders owner Mark Davis would contribute $500 million under the current plan. So there's already a lot of weight behind it. So what I guess the question is, what would stop it from going through? Would it be enough for progressive groups to try and push against the fact that taxes will hit the everyday people to stop them from going there?
No. These are rich people. Rich people generally get what they want.
Yeah.
And once they get pushback from what they want, their response is more money. And they go, okay, well, fine, we'll push more money to at least start this whole thing. We all know eventually it'll come back down on the everyday guy because they know how to run these things. But when rich people talk to other rich people, and rich people own the Raiders, and rich people own these casinos, and rich people run parts of Vegas, they all get together and find a way to make it happen. So I think it will work out. If there's some pushback, then they'll go on to the next step and make sure that more money is coming into it. And then this glorious stadium is going to bring up the community. That's what's happening in Inglewood. They're saying they're bring up the community of Inglewood.
Yeah.
Inglewood wasn't falling apart. Honestly, I live there. But it's going to, these improvements they say are going to happen, what it does, it changes your neighborhood, honestly. And in some good ways and in some ways that you maybe wouldn't have wanted. But in Vegas, it depends on where it goes, honestly. If it's going to go those 2 blocks where you're afraid, maybe we're gonna have a different conversation. There's definitely space.
Yeah.
But I don't know, rich people talking, I think, gets things done.
Well,
Hey,
I told them to.
fellas,
here we go.
while we're discussing, bringing different people into a community to, bring the, value up, why don't we just bring in some warlords from African countries? What? Raiders fans are literally these, those are the people that they don't even have championships. I swear to God, Raiders fans are the people that put on other fans' clothes like Boston Red Sox shit and go fuck shit up and go flip cars and then they go to Ohio State in front of Ohio State stuff and flip cars and burn stuff there. Raiders fans have too much aggression to get out.
I know a few. Raiders fans, there's some like that, but even the ones that are like that, they do it because they're expected to do it now.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Raiders fans, oh my God, they're scary. And no one really wants opposing fans coming to their stadium and cheering them down. It's embarrassing almost. So Raiders fans have gone with the intimidation factor. And honestly, they're soft. They're okay. I mean, not soft compared to other fans. They're soft like any other fan. They don't want to get into things, but they'll act like it for a while. And there's a couple crazies. There's 5 crazies that'll stab you.
It's, the stereotypes that go along with American sports is great. From the very moment I stepped in, I actually bought a Raiders hat. I didn't know what it was. I just bought a hat because I thought, all right, everyone in America has a hat. I'm going to see if I can wear it backwards. And I bought a Raiders hat. And when I actually went to school, everyone's like, do you know what that hat represents? And I was like, what do you mean? You're a Raiders fan. You need to be intimidating. You're like a 150-pound little white guy running around college. You're not going to fit into this, what everyone thinks.
What's the equivalent? Because I know you're a European football guy.
Yeah.
So what's the team that's the rough one that no one wants to mess with their fans?
In England, it's notorious that West Ham, Millwall, and Chelsea, London-based teams, is where a lot of the hooliganism was around. So they're notorious. But what I like better than kind of the physical side of it is what the personality traits are for teams that support, right? So what I picked up in America, being here for 7 years, that Philadelphia fans, no matter how positive they be, they're always going to be negative. It's always going to find a way back, that things are going to fall apart. Tim Frisch, our Philadelphian in here, I don't think he was optimistic about the 76ers already, but it's a 76er thing that their number 1 draft pick breaks his foot before the season happens, you know what I mean? You're just it's unfortunate. And then Jason for the Knicks, again, it's that optimism that it surrounds a team that has such a big name and it's big weight, that it makes it enjoyable to watch them fall apart because those fans that go along with it. What is
And
the
the Jets.
Boston? What's the Boston stereotype, Jacory? Is it? I think it's they complain about everything. That everyone's out to get them.
Cheaters.
Is it Cheetos as well?
Yeah,
Well, Cheetos I get,
It's
but
across the board.
yeah, I feel like they're always complaining though that everyone is out to get them. And I mean, they have a case when it comes to Tom Brady. But
Nah, you want to talk about Boston fans? Boston fans are the assholes that don't shut up, whether they win, whether they lose. They be in your fucking face talking about Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. Hey, you remember that 2004 Red Sox Yankees sweep? Yeah, I do. I was there. I was drunk as shit, and I remember it. I'll never forget it. Don't you ever forget it. I'm from Boston. Did I mention that?
He's right.
all right, well, maybe we'll do a clip. I think that's a clip brewing where the different types of personality traits that associate themselves with the fan.
Yeah.
I think Dan definitely sums up what a Clippers fan is all about. It's definitely Blake Griffin's fault. Neither way, they don't need to strengthen it.
Cautious optimism.
The cautious optimism. You're a Clippers fan as well, right?
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think this will pass? Do you think Vegas will be the home to the Raiders come the future? Or do you think
Should
they'll
they
end up
come
in
to LA?
Don't know. Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys very soon.